that. Next, we're going to talk quarterbacks. So we've already mentioned some quarterbacks. I don't want to talk about drafts. Don't want to talk about Aaron Rodgers. Want to talk about some other ones. Deshaun Watson has expressed he wants out of Houston. Who knows? He maybe tried to leave with James Harden. Matt Stafford is going to be departing Detroit. Who do we see making a move? Where do we see them? Who do we see someone landing a new QB and then being able to have a force to be reckoned with? So who's your QB? Where are they going? And where are they going to be producing greatness?
So this season, it feels like more than ever, we have so many quarterbacks who are looking to either maybe retire or change teams. Just a lot of uncertainty. I think there's at least 10 that I can name off the top of my head between Deshaun Watson, Matt Stafford, Sam Darnold, Carson Wentz, Jimmy Garoppolo, Cam Newton, Mitch Trubisky. There's just a ton of guys that we don't know where they're going to play football or if they're going to play football next year. The Washington football team with my personal hero, Alex Smith. But as far as like Deshaun Watson goes, I don't think it's going to matter who they hire as their head coach. I think he wants out no matter what. And I've seen where he has, or maybe somebody else has expressed interest in him going to the Jets. I don't see that as the move for him, but I've read a bunch about it on the internet, so we'll see. I think maybe Miami it would be a good fit for him. I don't know if anybody's kind of kept up with the Tua Tagovailoa nonsense going on down in Miami, but the Dolphins don't love him. The locker room does not love him. They say that he just doesn't work the way they thought he would work in practice. As we've seen with like Doug Peterson, once you lose the locker room, you kind of lose your job. So with him being in question in Miami, maybe Deshaun goes down there. But I like I said, I don't think it's going to matter who they hire as their next head coach. I think he is done. He wants out, and those are just two things that I've read about where he may end up. Like I said, I think the Jets is a little far-fetched, but Miami I feel like would be a pretty good fit for him. As far as Matt Stafford goes, I've seen the Colts pop up a lot. I think that'd be kind of interesting, although Connor, that kind of debunks your hot take of my boy going there. But I've seen that. My brother seems to think maybe he ends up in Denver. Does he follow Matt Patricia to New England? Matt Patricia just got rehired on New England staff as not the offensive coordinator, but some sort of offensive guy there. And maybe he follows him. I don't think they had a really good relationship, but maybe he follows him back and goes to New England. Who knows? He's a really good quarterback. I've already seen where several teams have reached out to see what it would take to get him in a trade. He'll end up somewhere good, I hope.
All right, hot take there with having a new quarterback down in Miami, and that Tua is not as loved as we all think he is. Luke, what does your quarterback movement look like?
I'm going to switch hats one more time again. All right, here we go. I think for Deshaun Watson, a lucrative opportunity for him where he could flourish in a certain team that can redeem themselves from skipping past him from the 2017 NFL draft would be known as the Bears. Yes, I said this. Chicago Bears. They could be in the hunt, and they actually have been pursuing and trying to strike a deal anytime before the new season starts in March. And when I was doing my research here and there, they could possibly trade Mitch Trubisky and a 2021 third round pick to the Texans or trade a draft pick beyond 2021, as the Bears have not traded any of their draft picks beyond 2021. So that gives them the opportunity for them to pursue Deshaun Watson. And again, as I mentioned, it would be the Bears redeeming themselves from passing up on Deshaun Watson in the 2017 NFL draft. And it will also attract another free agent currently on the Bears that could re-sign the Bears with Allen Robinson, who's a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL. So if Deshaun Watson comes to the Bears, he would get Allen Robinson, but also other weapons, including Jimmy Graham, Cole Kmet, Anthony Miller, Donnell Mooney, and Taylor Gabriel, coming from opting out this past season. And this upcoming season for the Bears, it will most likely be the last potential season for the Bears to have that dominant defense, since next season Khalil Mack will be. And according to the Chicago Bears, they have recently promoted from within their new defensive coordinator in Sean Desai, who has been mentored by Vic Fangio, who was the defense coordinator there in 2018. And that 2018 Chicago Bears defense, they were one of the most dominant defenses in the NFL. So if you have a top 5 defense in the NFL, load in on Deshaun Watson to get his weapons with all those wide receivers and tight ends, and along with the running backs and David Montgomery and Terry Cohen. Watch out for the Bears. They could be on the playoff hunt and potentially possibly the Super Bowl too if they go all in next year. So that is my hot take for Deshaun Watson getting traded to the Bears.
Luke with the SNL impression again, but also with the hot take. I think his second hot take of the night, in that he has the Bears in the Super Bowl in 2022. Connor, I didn't think anyone was going to take out your Colts hot take, but that's the hottest take I've heard tonight. So, Connor, what do you have? Who's going where, and what are they going to do? Connor, we're pulling a 2020 here, and you're muted, buddy, so we can't hear you.
Hello. Beautiful. Deshaun Watson, here's a hot take. He's going to be to the team that currently employs Tua Tagovailoa. Here's what I see happening. I see Deshaun Watson getting traded for Tua, roughly straight up. There might be a draft pick involved, maybe a couple other players to make the salaries work, but to really get both franchises started over. I know I said the Texans need to get Bieniemy if they're interested in keeping Watson, but as we've seen when multiple stars request trade, sometimes you just burn one too many bridges. I think Deshaun Watson is going to go to a weaker division and really light it up in Miami. And I think the other quarterback to watch is Matt Stafford. Some of the pieces I've been reading is having Matt Stafford head to the Saints a little bit closer to home. Is an offense kind of set up for a pocket quarterback, as being a pocket quarterback is more of a niche type situation these days, as opposed to being more mobile. Sean Payton has had Drew Brees for all these years, so is used to a less mobile but talented arm. So that's what I'm predicting. Deshaun Watson to the Dolphins, Matt Stafford to the Saints.